Ba 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 bomp. Hey guys, Nerdventures here again. I realize I've been doing almost no face cams in the last couple videos. That's exclusively because I find it easier to talk about things I want to talk about when I can show a little bit of the actual art and stuff, or flipping through books or anything like that. So I'm sorry if you're sad that you haven't seen my face in a couple videos. I know, super sad, but teaser alert, I shaved my head. So if you were used to the Nerdventures flow, get ready when I do a face cam again, because there's no hair left up there. So now that we've got that teaser out of the way, let's get down to business. Today I wanted to do something that is both a review and a little bit of a response to a video I posted recently. My video previously that I am talking about is the DC Comics Rebirth previews, where I went over the previews guide and talked about the different series that were coming out, my thoughts and concerns on Rebirth in general, what I would like to see or not like to see from them. And I got a number of comments on the video about how people were not that concerned with the double shipping, that they didn't think it was going to hamper the titles or anything like that, and the multiple artists and stuff wasn't really bothering them. So I understand that. That's cool. I mean, you know, not everybody's going to be concerned with it, but I wanted to talk today about Planet Hulk, a particular run on the Hulk from recent years, written by Greg Pak, that I think sort of illustrates my exact fear of what DC Comics is doing. I think it is very indicative of the structure of a lot of modern runs and storylines, and I want to relate it back to DC Rebirth and why reading this book has made me feel the way I do about Rebirth. So before we get into all that, let's just look at the book itself. This is the Planet Hulk, the Incredible Hulk, Planet Hulk, or just Hulk, Planet Hulk, I guess. This is the oversized hardcover that was put out a number of years ago. It's not of particularly nice quality. This was kind of before Marvel started doing really nice oversizes, and this was sort of like, I guess, mid to late 2000s, when they were doing like okay oversizes. So this has on the cover the Incredible Hulk, and on the back it has a picture of Hulk in full-on gladiator regalia, which is basically what this book is about. It was a $40 price point. This book is now out of print, and you'd have to find it used. I think I got this one for like $25, $30, something like that. That's sort of the going rate around there for this. And it says right there on the back, it collects Incredible Hulk 92 through 105, the Planet Hulk Gladiator Guidebook, and material from Amazing Fantasy 15, as well as Giant Size Hulk #1. So if we flip it back around, we can take off the dust jacket and see that it's pretty darn plain. The dust jacket is fine. It gives a couple of different creators, and then it gives the Planet Hulk, Incredible Hulk, same thing on the side, just basic green cover. The binding is nothing to write home about. Like I said, this was before Marvel started doing nice bindings really for all of their stuff, so it's basically just a glued book in there. The ribbon's a little bit coming off from mine, but no biggie. So this probably won't be the longest video, because honestly I just don't have that many thoughts on it, but I wanted to talk a little bit about why I don't have that many thoughts on it. Planet Hulk is the I guess the result of a particular instance in, this isn't spoiling anything, or it happens in literally the first page of this book, or it says that previously. There was a group of Marvel heroes, including, like it says here, Reed Richards, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, and Black Bolt, who I believe at that point were going by the Illuminati or something like that. I haven't really read it that well or that much. But this is basically a standalone thing, so it catches you up almost instantly, and then it shows that right off the bat, the Illuminati, or these Earth's heroes, are sending Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk, through outer space out into God knows where. I mean, their idea is to send him off to some planet that he can just be alone and hunt and be idyllic and whatever. But the craft ends up malfunctioning, or he tears it apart, or whatever. It gets pulled through this little wormhole, literally on the first page, and then he gets thrown into this nasty, awful alien planet where he is forced to fight as a gladiator, and it's basically Spartacus in Hulk world. If that makes sense. Like the put upon gladiator shows everybody that they have all the strength inside of them to free themselves, and blah blah blah, and then they get out, blah blah blah, and it works out. Okay, so the reason that I really wanted to talk about this book is that, to me, it is very indicative of modern style of comic writing and runs, in that Greg Pak is the sole writer on this, and he has a story in mind, and writing that story, you can see on here, there are so many creative credits on this. I mean, just in the first couple issues, Carl Pagulian, I'm sorry if I say that wrong, Michael Oeming, who worked on a few other things with Bendis, Alex Nino, Marshall Rogers, inked by a bunch of different people, Aaron Lopresti draws a few of them, as well as coming back with Carl Pagulian is how I'm going to say it, and Gary Frank, Carlo Pagulian again, and then a number of different people working on Mastermind Excelsior, Takeshi Miyazawa, as well as Gary Frank on Planet Show. So, my thought is that this particular style of modern run, where you have, it's essentially, 92 through 105, so around, let's say, around 15 issues, including the Giant Size Hulk and Amazing Fantasy 15. So, this is about a 15-issue run. It is all one story, and my feeling with it is that it's fine. Like, it's all right. I read this because I was kind of told by a lot of different people that it is one of the better Hulk runs of modern times, especially one of the best Hulk runs that people can remember or think about, and because, there's a lot of the Hulk is not exactly, like, super well received, like, especially his early stuff. I think a lot of people kind of find it a little bit boring, so but my problem with this is that while this reads fine, it feels like an action movie to me. Like, it just reads like a big action movie. It is wholly, in my opinion, unremarkable. Especially the art. And that's kind of what I'm worried about with DC Rebirth and with this kind of modern style of stuff, is that because there are so many different artists working on it, and it changes either from issue to issue, or some people, there's multiple artists working on it at the same time, there's no, like, distinct style. There's just a bunch of different types of styles mushed together, and while the heroes in here generally have a look to them, to all these different characters in here, each artist does their own thing a little bit, and there's just no consistent visual style that you can really latch onto and get through this, and it just doesn't feel like a coherently interesting book to me. I mean, the writing is good. Like I said, it's like an action movie. It's like reading an action movie. It's like, a gladiator in space, or Spartacus in space, or whatever. And the characters and everything are fun to be with, and because it is its own book, it's not related to the Marvel Universe really in any way besides the Hulk, and like an appearance by the Silver Surfer. You can basically read it on your own and find enjoyment with it. But my fear with this kind of content is that people look at it, and when people talk about Planet Hulk, whenever this was recommended to me, all people talk about is, Pak's run on Hulk, Greg Pak's run on Hulk. We need to read Planet Hulk or World War Hulks or whatever, and all they talk about is Greg Pak. Nobody goes in and talks about all the different artists, like, you need to read the Pak, Pagulian, Lopresti, Frank Miyazawa, Nino run on Hulk, right? Nobody thinks like that, like, because there's so many different artists, and they're all basically aping a relatively similar design, and then the coloring all just washes it out anyway. Like, modern coloring just makes everything look the same, to me personally. I just find it to be kind of off-putting, but everything is kind of washed out and put into the same generic Hulk Marvel style. And I'm sure there are people that love this book. I mean, I didn't dislike it. Like I said, I enjoyed it, but it speaks to me to be moving towards a less interesting type of creativity on this, where instead of having a run that is really like celebrated with one or two creative leads, basically like an artist and a writer, you have this thing where one person scripts out a 20 issue series, like a year and a half long series, and then you basically just get whoever to fill in the art. Now, I don't know, maybe Pack loves working with these particular guys, I don't know, especially, but my fear that I was talking about with DC Rebirth, and I think it's the same thing with this, is that you are essentially making the writer an identifiable, party. Say, like, I'm going to read Tom King's Batman, or I'm going to read Greg Pak's Hulk, and then the art becomes secondary to that. It just becomes whatever artist is facilitating this story line being told. And in my opinion, that is not the kind of comics that I personally like to read. I'm not trying to say that the entire industry needs to be a certain way. All I'm saying in this video is that for me personally, the kind of comics that I like to read are comics where the artist and the writer, or one guy who is drawing and writing, are more intimately connected and work together on like a finite and tighter storyline or concept or something like that. This kind of writing, and what I feel like DC Rebirth is going to be, this kind of creative comic book creative process, where you basically have a complete story scripted out, and then different artists are working on different pieces of it, seems to me to lack any type of interesting aesthetic like through line. There's no through line in this that makes me see how Hulk is evolved as a character or as an artistic, as a person, because the style is different in every issue, and the covers are different from the way the book looks. It's just, to me personally, all I'm saying is, to me personally, this modern style, and what I feel like DC is gunning towards with Rebirth, of having these scripted, like a scripted 2-year Rebirth story, and then getting different artists to basically fill in the amount of issues that they need, doesn't point to a long-lasting thing. Like, I would consider this to be a good story, but nowhere near a great story. Like, nowhere near anything that I think will be remembered forever, or will be, talked about as something that you have to read. I think it is a good, fun, light story that has no lasting value, to me personally. And I feel like a major part of that is, as I've been saying these last couple minutes, is that it doesn't feel like it is creatively tight. It just feels like Greg Pak had a story to tell, and then it was facilitated by a number of different avenues. So, if you love Planet Hulk and really, really enjoy it, then I would love to hear in the comments, like, why, what made it so interesting to you. For me personally, the best thing about it was the sort of the writing, and like just the fun that it seemed like Hulk was having in this, because this is a story arc where Bruce Banner only probably appears in, like, I don't know, a total of 10 panels or something like that. The entirety of the time that Hulk is on this planet, this alien planet, he's just hulked out. Like, it's just him being Hulk as a character, and not really having to worry about this Bruce Banner Hulk and I don't want to hurt people and whatever kind of stuff. It's much more just Hulk as his own character, being this, badass gladiator, fighting with this ragtag group of guys. And, like, in that sense, it felt really fun and rewarding to read this, like I said, action movie plot where Hulk goes from being downtrodden, the worst gladiator, to every time he gets angry, he just gets stronger, and then eventually he's like moving mountains and moving the planet and all this, all this crazy stuff. But it didn't feel like it had any particular substance to me. Like, it was a fun ride, and once it was over, I had no desire to go back and explore anything deeper about it. And that's kind of what I'm worried that at its core, that's what I'm worried this kind of double shipping strategy is that it's going to create a lot of fun rides that are just fun to read, that are, non-threatening. They're just fun, kind of nostalgic trips, but they have no oomph and no real, they're lacking any type of substance underneath that. So that's my just take on Planet Hulk. I try not to tell anything really about the story. Like I was saying, it really is very straightforward. It's just Hulk crashes on the planet and then fights everything on that planet. I would recommend skipping the hardcover version because, like I said, the art is nothing special at all. It's very just generic modern art. I would definitely skip the hardcover and instead get like either the complete collection or the trade paperback, whatever other version there is out there, because it's not worth paying the extra money for a hardcover that really isn't that nice in quality, and the art doesn't really benefit that much from being on these oversized pages. So yeah, that's basically it. That's my little spiel on Planet Hulk and my feelings on the way that modern comics are constructed. I'm just worried that we're moving away from artist recognition, and instead people buy comics based off of writers and based off the properties. You know, like people like Brian K. Vaughan, Grant Morrison, and all that stuff. I feel like people, when they read those names, they associate them with quality comics, but more often than not, they probably are not familiar with the artist that is backing the different creators, the different writers, I mean. So I'm hesitant to move forward with what I feel like this kind of thing is going to bring, where we have a lot of these fun, you know, distraction comics, but nothing that really advances the medium or that really, you know, forces you to dig deeper or go any deeper than that. And not everything has to be the heaviest, deepest thing in the world. Sometimes it's fun to read something nice and distracting, but just for me, it's not the kind of comic that I really want to spend time or money or am that interested in consuming. Like, it's fun, but ultimately empty, just in my opinion. So basically my feelings on Hulk. If you agree, I would love to hear why you agree in the comments. If you disagree vehemently and Planet Hulk is your favorite story and now you hate me, I'd love to hear that in the comments too. I'd love to hear anything in the comments that you think about Planet Hulk and the modern style of comic book creating. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please give me a subscribe, a thumbs up, or a thumbs down if you would like me to improve or change anything about this. And like I said, stay tuned next time. Maybe we'll be getting some face cam going on. You can see my new sweet flow or lack of flow in my hair. And if you would like to follow me on Tumblr, Facebook, or anywhere else, all those links will be in the description below. You can ask me questions, send me messages, berate me for not liking Hulk, whatever it is you'd like to do. So I hope this video was helpful for anybody who's on the fence about Planet Hulk. And like I said, a very, very fun book, but just no substance. So not exactly my cup of tea, but if you're just in there for a roller coaster ride and just want to read a blockbuster style story, then maybe this is what you want at this particular time. But yeah, I've been Nerdventures. This has been Planet Hulk. Oh, God. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks, guys.